Good morning guys, it's Baz here, the Everyday Vegan, and today I'm bringing you another breakfast feature. As most of you by now know, at least those of you who have been following my channel for a while, breakfast is my favorite meal. And there's some ingredients, and this meal I've been wanting to make for such a long time. Yet again, I've always had a few ingredients missing. It was either the tofu or it was either some of the vegetables, but now I've actually made a special trip this fine morning. It's beautiful weather in Norwich, a bit cold because we're going into autumn, but the trees look beautiful. So it's a nice drive down to my favorite Aldi, and I got what I needed, and I will show you all the ingredients for today's tofu scramble recipe or tofu scramble wraps. Now these are the ingredients here. Now by no means do you need every single one of those bits. So you will need the wraps if you make it wrap shape, but you don't have to make them as wraps. You can just have them like you probably used to have scrambled eggs. Now I use two types of tofu for this particular recipe, but this one you could sort of do away with and just have regular, I guess, crumbling tofu, regular light gray color. Now this one is smoked tofu, and it is a little bit harder, so you can cut it into cubes, which is quite useful for this because I'm going to fry them up with some onions. Now onions I've got here as well, so I'm going to use a red onion in this particular case. Now in terms of spices, this is again up to choice. Salt and pepper is probably an obvious one. You also need turmeric if you want the yellow color, and I like having a little bit of chili in there. These are vine tomatoes. They smell absolutely delightful, which is really nice. They're popped open there as well, so that's going to be nice, and a little bit of garlic. And that's really it. These are all the ingredients that you need for this. I'm doing it quite an elaborate way, but you don't have to use all of this. I'm just going to prepare these ingredients now. There we are, guys. All the ingredients are nicely chopped up. There's the garlic, some red onion, which I prefer. You can use white onion as well if you prefer that. Some of the tomato. This is the tofu I was talking about. These are sort of like quite hard little cubes here, which are nice to fry up with some onions. For those of you who are German, it's like using speck when you make scrambled eggs. And this is the regular tofu, which I've just been drying in some kitchen towel. And all I now have to do is use some of that olive oil in that pan, and I'll get cooking. You want to wait till the oil has reached a certain temperature, and then just add the onions to that, and later on add the tofu cubes, and just let that fry for a little while until the onion goes a little bit soft. Now I've let this cook for about 3 minutes or so until the tofu cubes are going just a little bit brown. And that's when the fun bit starts, where you take this tofu here and you just crumble it into it. Leave a few bigger chunks, because much like scrambled eggs, you want to use a few bigger chunks. And I'll let you know how that looks when I've added everything. There we are, look at that. All the scramble is now in there. Now I actually got this recipe from my little cousin Lisa, and she said one of the good tips about making this recipe is that if it gets too dry whilst it's cooking, just add a little bit of water and keep repeating that process until it's nicely cooked through so you don't lose the moisture. Now you can hear it sizzling away. This is looking really nice, and I'm going to add the turmeric powder. Now, how much you use of this is entirely up to the color and taste that you like. I'm going to try with this and stir it through and see if it's yellow enough for my liking. Now, I definitely like that color. That was really, really yummy, and the smell is amazing. I'm going to add some salt and pepper in a minute, and the tomatoes. Now before you add too much water to this, be aware that of course the tomatoes are going to add a lot of moisture to this. This is actually going to be enough. I was thinking about putting some water in it, but with these tomatoes, they're quite juicy, so I'm not going to do that. Look at that, guys. Doesn't it look amazing? I'm going to add the garlic now. Now I've added quite a lot of pepper because I'm a big fan of pepper. I'm going to add some salt to it. This is obviously to taste. We're almost done. I've just got the spinach left to go. As many of you know, I love spinach, so this is going to be a lot for me, and I'm just going to let that cook down a little bit. Now I'm done. This is super good looking. I'm very glad this came out the way, because I've made this a few times and it didn't look anywhere near as nice as this. So I'm very happy that for this video it turned out the way it did. And that means I'm going to take it off the heat now. At this point, of course, depending on breakfast choice, you can just put that on toast or just eat it as it is. I'm going to make some wraps. There we are. This is also when I add just a tiny bit of chili. I quite like chili. So again, this is down to taste, of course. Look at that. Depending on how you like it, you could present it like this. This is what I'm going to do. I can't wait. I'm so hungry after this video. So I really hope you enjoyed that and you're as hungry as I am. It's super easy to make. As I said, you can leave some of the ingredients out. You could add mushrooms. You can even add fresh spinach when you're actually making the wrap. You don't have to put the chili in, so please experiment. Let me know how you get on. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm now gonna have breakfast, and it was awesome to deliver another video to you guys, and I see you next week. Bye! It's very yummy.